There comes a time in every person's life when the invisible world begins to whisper louder than the noise of the visible one. It is not by coincidence, it is not random, it is preparation. When the Creator of the universe, who made you with precision and purpose, decides it is time to elevate your life, the signs will not always be loud, but they will always be sure. You may not recognize them at first, because they rarely come wrapped in comfort. In fact, more often than not, they come disguised as discomfort, disruption, and divine discontent. And that's the first sign. When something big is coming, the familiar starts to feel unfamiliar. The place you once found peace now feels too small. The people you once resonated with begin to sound distant. You find yourself restless, even in moments that once satisfied you. That restlessness is not confusion. It is direction. It is heaven's way of telling you that you've outgrown where you are and it's time to rise. Understand this. Elevation requires separation. And when God is about to do something major in your life, He will begin separating you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The pruning season always precedes the harvest. He will remove certain people, certain habits, and certain distractions, not because they are evil, but because they can't go where you're going. If you keep holding on to what you should have let go, you'll miss what you've been praying for. The second sign is silence, a deafening, almost haunting silence in your life. Calls go unanswered, doors seem shut. Prayers appear to linger without reply, but do not be fooled. This silence is sacred. In the silence, God speaks the loudest. This is where He works in the background, aligning opportunities, setting divine appointments, molding your character, and testing your obedience. Can you still believe when you don't see it? Can you walk by faith when the evidence hasn't shown up yet? Silence isn't the absence of God, it is the presence of instruction. Stay quiet long enough, and you'll hear the whisper of destiny echo through your soul. Another sign, a powerful and undeniable one, is that you'll begin to feel like your life is under attack. Suddenly, things start falling apart, relationships strain, your finances get tight, your mind becomes a battlefield. This isn't bad luck, this is confirmation. Hell doesn't attack what isn't a threat. The enemy is not omniscient, but he is observant. He can sense a shift coming in your life before you can. He sees the hedge of favor being prepared. So he throws everything he can at you, not to defeat you, but to distract you, because he knows if you stay focused, if you hold your peace, if you keep walking despite the storm, the blessing will break through. You don't get attacked in the middle of nothing. You get attacked on the brink of something. Next, you'll experience unusual favor. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. People will begin to mention your name in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities you didn't even apply for will find you. This is not coincidence, this is evidence, evidence that God is positioning you. You'll begin to meet people who don't just admire your gift, but honor your purpose. People who don't just want your presence, but support your vision. Favor is never accidental, it's always intentional. It's God's way of setting the stage for something that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. You'll also begin to feel a divine boldness rise up in you. Things you used to be afraid of don't scare you anymore. You start taking steps that once seemed impossible. Your words carry more authority. Your energy changes. You walk differently, talk differently, and think differently. This boldness is not arrogance. It's clarity. It's purpose taking over. When you are chosen for something big, hesitation disappears and conviction takes its place. That fire inside you, that's not you hyping yourself up. That's God waking you up, and here's another powerful sign, the dreams that won't leave you alone, the visions that keep visiting you. Even when you try to suppress them, they rise back to the surface. Why? Because they weren't born in your imagination. They were planted in your spirit. They are heaven sent. That persistent dream is a preview of the destiny that's already been written. Don't ignore it. It didn't come to tease you, it came to train you. God will give you a glimpse of what's possible to keep you from settling for what's easy. You may also notice that you begin losing your taste for mediocrity. You can't entertain shallow conversations anymore. You can't waste time with things that don't matter. You stop trying to fit in because you realize you were born to stand out. That shift in appetite is a divine detox. God is cleansing your spirit, rewiring your mindset, and getting you ready for the weight of the blessing you're about to carry. Greatness cannot dwell in a mind addicted to the ordinary. Another subtle but powerful sign is that you start hearing confirmation everywhere. You hear a sermon that speaks directly to your situation. A stranger says something that pierces your soul. A verse, a quote, a lyric. It all begins to echo the same message. This is not the algorithm. This is alignment. The spiritual realm is signaling to you, over and over, pay attention, get ready. The message gets louder the closer you get to the manifestation. And perhaps one of the most overlooked signs, your character is being tested. Before God gives you something big, He will first check if you can be trusted with something small, how you handle pressure, how you treat people, how you deal with rejection. This is your interview. Don't fail the test. The stage may be calling, but your integrity must be built first. A platform without character becomes a trap, not a triumph. God is more interested in your roots than your reach. And finally, you'll feel a peace that makes no sense. Even in the midst of chaos, something deep within you knows, this is my season. That peace is not passive, it's prophetic. It's your soul saying yes to what heaven already decided. You stop begging. You stop chasing, you stop forcing, you start aligning, preparing, expecting. That's the posture of someone who knows what's coming is not just good, it's God. So if you're feeling the shaking, the silence, the pruning, the restlessness, if you're under attack, if you're seeing divine connections form, if your dreams keep haunting you, if your appetite for the average has died, if the confirmation keeps coming, and if your soul is whispering, get ready, then I urge you, don't quit. Don't shrink, don't go back to sleep. Something big is coming, something beyond what you imagined, but you must be in position, you must be awake, you must believe it before you see it. Because when God is about to give you something big, He doesn't announce it with fireworks. He prepares you in the dark, and those who endure the dark will walk in the light. You're not being buried, you're being planted. And your season is about to change. Would you like a version with a video script layout, including visual or music cues? 4.0 you said, continue generating without concluded paragraph, ChatGPT said, and in this preparation, don't be surprised if your emotions start to feel unfamiliar. You'll find yourself crying for no apparent reason or laughing at strange moments. Your spirit knows something your mind hasn't yet caught up to. That internal stirring, it's divine energy moving through you. It's a sign that your soul is expanding, stretching to hold the blessing that's being formed in the unseen. You'll begin to attract challenges that seem far beyond your current level, responsibilities you didn't ask for, conversations you feel unqualified to have, people seeking your guidance when you yourself are still seeking answers. This, too, is a sign. God qualifies those He calls, not the other way around. The weight you feel isn't punishment, it's prophecy. It's proof that something inside you is growing stronger than what's around you. You are no longer being trained for survival. You are being equipped for significance. You might find that your relationships shift in the most unexpected ways. People you thought would always be in your corner begin to fall away. Others turn cold without warning. Don't chase them. Their departure is a part of the divine equation. When something great is coming into your life, God cleans the space first. He removes access from those who had front row seats but didn't respect the show. Let them go with peace. What's being subtracted from your life is only making room for what will multiply it. Pay attention to your thoughts. They will begin to shift. Where once you thought in limitations, now you start to think in expansion. Where once you feared failure, now you anticipate impact. These aren't random improvements in your mindset. This is divine programming being rewritten. Your thoughts are aligning with the frequency of your future. It is the mind catching up to the Spirit's assignment, and once the mind agrees with the spirit, nothing can stop the manifestation. And then comes the disruption of your routines. Things that once worked will stop working. The schedule that brought you peace will now feel like a cage. The habits that once produced results will now feel ineffective. Why? Because you're being pushed into a new rhythm. The old routine served the old version of you, but that version is gone. You're evolving, and evolution demands a new order. It's in this divine chaos that you are forced to create new systems, ones that match your new level. Watch how you begin to feel time differently. The days seem more urgent. The hours feel more expensive. You'll stop tolerating waste in conversation, in thought, in action. Because when destiny starts knocking, every moment matters. You begin to sense that you don't have time to waste on what doesn't align. You'll say no more often, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You know something big is coming, and you need to be ready. This urgency will be followed by unusual clarity. Ideas will pour in like waves. You'll begin to write more, speak more, create more. Vision will become vivid. You'll wake up with solutions to problems you haven't yet encountered. That's not your mind being hyperactive. It's your spirit receiving downloads from a higher realm. The Creator is giving you blueprints for the season ahead. Don't ignore them, capture them, they are sacred. You'll also feel compelled to clean, not just your physical environment, but your inner world. Suddenly, you'll want to eat better, move more, sleep more intentionally. Your body, mind, and soul begin to align as one unified vessel. Because what you are about to receive requires strength, stamina, and sacred structure. What's coming is not just for show, it's for stewardship. You must be strong enough to carry it and wise enough to sustain it. And just when you think you're ready, another test will come, not to break you, but to reveal you to yourself. The test won't be in the obvious. It'll be in the small moments. Will you respond with faith or fear? Will you react out of emotion or out of principle? Will you protect your peace or chase validation? Every decision in these moments is a seed, and when you sow the right seed in faith, the harvest will respond in favor, and you'll begin to feel watched, not by people, but by destiny itself. You'll walk into rooms and feel eyes on you, even when no one is looking. You'll feel like your steps are being measured, your words being recorded, because they are. The spiritual realm has eyes, and they see a vessel being molded for a divine assignment. You're being watched not for judgment, but for preparation. You're being monitored by heaven for the moment your name will be called. Don't be alarmed if resistance increases just when you think you've found peace. That's another sign. Opposition always increases before promotion. The closer you get to the breakthrough, the more intense the pressure becomes. But pressure is not your enemy, it is your midwife. It's pushing you, stretching you, forcing you to birth the next level of your life. It will feel like you're being broken, but in truth you're being built. And perhaps one of the strangest signs of all, you'll begin to feel both fear and faith living inside you at the same time. You'll feel excited and terrified, hopeful and uncertain. That's the tension of transition. That's what it feels like to walk between what was and what will be. Don't try to resolve the tension. Move through it. Let both emotions teach you. Fear shows you your humanity. Faith shows you your divinity. And in the balance of both, you become whole. Let me tell you this, you'll also start to lose the need for control. You'll find yourself surrendering more often, letting go, trusting, not because you're giving up, but because you finally realize it was never in your hands to begin with. The blessing that's coming can't be built by manipulation. It must be birthed by surrender. When you let go of how it must happen, you make room for what's meant to happen. You'll start speaking life over yourself without even realizing it. Affirmations will come out of your mouth like breath. You'll catch yourself saying things like, I'm ready, it's my time, or this is for me. And those aren't just words, they're declarations. The universe responds to your self-perception. Speak as though it's already done, because in the spirit it already is. And when the timing is right, and it always will be, everything will begin to align in a way that even your doubts can't deny. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll sense it when you walk into a room. Everything you went through, every tear, every disappointment, every moment of confusion will suddenly make sense. You'll realize it wasn't punishment. It was preparation, ChatGPT said. You'll start remembering things you forgot about yourself. Old talents will resurface. Childhood dreams you buried under the weight of responsibility will begin to knock again. These aren't just memories, they're callings. God doesn't waste anything, not even your detours. What seemed irrelevant years ago will now become the missing piece in your purpose. It's as if your past is circling back to serve your future, and in that you'll see that nothing was wasted. Every season, every mistake, every delay, it all had meaning. You'll begin to crave solitude, not because you're isolating, but because you're incubating. Solitude becomes sacred. You'll find yourself pulling back from the crowd, not out of fear, but out of focus. You'll start to hear your own thoughts again. You'll feel your own power again. You won't need noise to validate your next move. You'll understand that sometimes silence is louder than applause, and peace is more valuable than popularity. And then something unusual will happen. You'll be drawn to help others, even while you're still waiting for your own breakthrough. You'll find yourself encouraging people while secretly needing encouragement. Speaking hope into others while quietly battling your own doubts. That is not hypocrisy. It's humility. It's the divine working through you despite your waiting. It's proof that your purpose is not on pause. Even in your waiting season, you are being used. Your obedience in brokenness is one of the strongest signs that the blessing is near. You may even begin to feel misunderstood. The more you grow, the less people seem to get you. The conversations you once enjoyed feel shallow. The connections that used to fill you now feel draining. Don't resist this. As your purpose sharpens, so must your circle. Not everyone will understand what you're carrying. Some will doubt it, others will envy it, but a few, just a few will recognize it. Those few are your tribe. You don't need many. You just need alignment. You'll also notice that time begins to work for you. What used to take years begins to happen in months. Delays that once frustrated you now feel like divine orchestration. Things come together faster, smoother, and with more power. Not because you've worked harder, but because you've aligned deeper. God works outside of time, and when he releases his hand, time bends in your favor. Suddenly you're not catching up, you're catching fire. There's a moment, often subtle, when you stop being afraid of losing and start being excited to win. It doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with a quiet inner knowing, I was made for more. You don't shout it. You don't post about it. You carry it, that quiet confidence, that spiritual maturity. It's what happens when your soul becomes convinced of your assignment. It's what makes you unstoppable, not your talent, not your looks, not your resources, but that deep-rooted belief that what's for you cannot be taken from you. And then you'll start receiving confirmations in unlikely places. A stranger will say something that feels divinely timed. A line in a book, a post you stumble on, a conversation overheard. It all begins to echo the same truth, keep going. You're almost there. These aren't coincidences. These are divine breadcrumbs leading you to your next chapter. The message will keep coming until you acknowledge it. And once you do, doors will begin to swing open. Your instincts will heighten. Intuition becomes sharper. You'll sense when to move, when to stay, when to speak, when to stay silent. You won't need a lot of advice. You'll already know. That knowing is not ego. It's alignment. When your spirit is synced with its source, direction becomes internal. And when you move from internal conviction, you don't wait for permission from the external world. There will be nights you can't sleep. Not because of anxiety, but because of anticipation. You'll lie awake not worried about what could go wrong, but consumed with what could go right. Visions of what's coming will keep you up. Plans will form in your mind. Solutions will visit you. These sleepless nights are spiritual labor. Your soul is preparing to give birth. Don't fight it. Flow with it. Write the ideas down. They're not just thoughts. their instructions, and don't be surprised when strangers begin to recognize something different in you. There's something about you, they'll say. They won't be able to name it, but they'll feel it. That's your light breaking through. That's the evidence of internal transformation spilling into the external world. You're no longer hiding. You're no longer dimming. Without even trying, your presence will begin to shift atmospheres. You'll begin to crave excellence. You'll no longer tolerate half-effort. You'll want to do things with precision, with quality, with spirit, not for applause, but because you know who you represent. Mediocrity will offend you. Laziness will repel you. You won't want to impress. You'll want to embody. That's a sign of someone being prepared for legacy, because greatness isn't what you achieve, it's what you consistently become. Even your language will change. You'll stop saying if it happens, and start saying when it happens. You'll stop asking for permission and start speaking with authority. Your words will start to carry faith. Faith in your path, faith in your source, faith in yourself. And when your words shift, your world follows, because the tongue is a weapon, and you'll begin to wield it with intention. And then comes the stillness before the shift. A divine pause. Life quiets down, not because nothing is happening, but because everything is. Under the surface, beyond your senses, the pieces are being arranged, the hearts are being moved, the opportunities are being positioned. You may feel like you're stuck, but don't be deceived. It's in the stillness that God does his finest work. He's working behind closed doors so that when they open, it's not a coincidence, it's a coronation. And you'll notice you've stopped asking small questions. You no longer ask, why me? Instead, you ask, how can I serve through this? You stop seeking comfort and start seeking clarity. That's a seismic shift. Because people who are called to greatness don't chase ease. They chase alignment. They're not trying to escape the fire. They're learning to walk through it without being burned, because they know fire doesn't destroy the chosen. It defines them. That fire might show up as rejection. Rejection from people you loved, places you invested in, doors you were sure would open. But that rejection is divine redirection. God is not keeping you from something good. He's leading you to something great. And sometimes, the only way to make you move is to close the door with finality. It may hurt in the moment, but in time you'll see. That closed door was God's fingerprint on your future. You'll notice your prayers changing. No longer just desperate pleas for rescue. Now they're powerful declarations of vision. You start praying not for things, but for wisdom, not for shortcuts, but for strength. That shift in prayer is a sign. It means you've grown. It means you no longer see God as just a rescuer, but as a partner in creation. You pray with authority because you finally understand. Faith isn't begging, it's building. You'll begin to live in the present more deeply than ever before. You stop obsessing over the past or projecting into the future. The moment becomes sacred. You feel God in your breath, in the breeze, in the pause between heartbeats. Life becomes richer, fuller, more vivid. You realize you're no longer waiting to be happy. You're becoming happiness itself. And from that state, blessings flow more easily, because blessings come to those who already live as if they are blessed. And just when you begin to feel completely comfortable in your solitude, completely at peace in your process, He'll begin to send people, not distractions, but divine connections. People who speak your language without needing translation. People who don't compete but complement. People who don't drain but deposit. This is one of the most beautiful signs when destiny starts building your tribe, when God starts aligning hearts to help carry what you're about to birth. But be ready, because with every elevation comes exposure. New levels bring new devils. You'll feel the eyes of criticism, the weight of expectation, the test of your own integrity. That's not punishment, that's promotion protocol. You're being given influence, and influence must be forged in fire. This is where your private choices matter more than ever, because what you build in private is what protects you in public. Don't just pray for the platform. Pray for the character to carry it. And somewhere along